Hi everyone, today I'm going to read Sherlock Holmes stories di Conan Doyle. Beh, Sherlock Holmes non ha bisogno di presentazioni, quindi comincerei subito alla lettura. Ci sono due storie all'interno di questo libro, The Red-Headed League, cioè la banda con degli uomini con i capelli rossi, e The Speckled Band, che significa la banda a pois. Ok, allora vi leggerò solamente il primo capitolo di ciascuna delle due storie. Molto divertenti, scritte molto bene, in maniera molto semplice. The Red-Headed League. Mr. Jabez Wilson. One Saturday morning, I went to visit my friend Sherlock Holmes, but he already had a visitor. His visitor was a large man with a red face, small eyes, and bright red hair. I see you're busy, Holmes. I'll come back late another time, I said. You came at the perfect time, my dear Watson, said Holmes warmly. I thought you were very busy, I said. I am busy, very busy. I'll wait in the other room. No, said Holmes and turned to the visitor. Dr. Watson helped me in many of my most successful cases, Mr. Wilson. I am sure he can help me with your case too. The large gentleman got up from his chair and said, I'm very pleased to meet you, Dr. Watson. Then we all sat down. I know you like unusual, difficult cases, Watson, and this case is very unusual. Mr. Wilson, please tell your story to Dr. Watson. Mr. Wilson took an old, dirty newspaper out of his pocket and began looking at the advertisements in it. I watched him carefully. From his clothes, I saw that he was an ordinary British shopkeeper. Holmes saw me watching the old man. He smiled and said, I see you're trying to be a detective, Watson. Well, it's clear that Mr. Wilson was a workman in the past, and he also lived in China for some time. Recently, he did a lot of writing. Mr. Wilson was very surprised. How do you know all of these things, Mr. Holmes? You are right. In the past, I was a workman. Your hands show it, Mr. Wilson, Holmes said. Your right hand is bigger than your left. You used your right hand a lot. But how do you know that I wrote a lot recently? I looked at your sleeves of your shirt, Mr. Wilson. The material of the right sleeve is much thinner. That shows you were writing at a desk. And how did you know that I lived in China? You have a tattoo of a pink fish on your right hand. That tattoo is only done in China, you see. I like studying tattoos. And there is a Chinese coin on your watch chain. Mr. Wilson laughed loudly and said, At first, I thought you were extremely clever, but perhaps it wasn't so difficult after all. Holmes looked at me and said, Sometimes I think that it's better not to explain my methods, dear Watson. He turned to Mr. Wilson and said, Did you find the advertisement? Yes, here it is, he said, pointing to it with a big red finger. It was an advertisement in the Morning Chronicle of 2 months before. The advertisement said, The Red-Headed League. Man needed for new job at League. Pay £4 a week. Work office-based. Job only open to people with red hair. Come to the Red-Headed League offices, 7 Pops Court, Fleet Street, London, at 11 o'clock, Monday morning. Duncan Ross. What does it mean? I said, after reading this strange advertisement twice. Holmes laughed happily. It's very unusual, Watson, isn't it? And now, Mr. Wilson, please, tell us everything about yourself, your home, your work, and this red-headed league. Well, I have a shop below my house at 6 Cobble Square in London. It isn't a very big business, and I don't make much money now. I only have one assistant in the shop. Luckily, he wants to learn the business, so he accepts half pay. What is your young assistant's name? Asked Holmes. His name is Vincent Spaulding, but he's not very young. He's an excellent worker, and he can make more money in another shop, but he's happy with me. It's unusual to have an excellent assistant, said Holmes. Tell me more about him. Spaulding loves photography and spends a lot of time in the cellar developing his pictures. He is sometimes in there for hours, but he's a very good worker. Are there any servants in your home? Yeah, there's a girl. She cooks and cleans the house. She, Spaulding, and I are the only people in the house. My wife is dead and I have no children. About 2 months ago, Spaulding came into my office with this newspaper in his hand and said, I'm sorry, my hair isn't red. I asked him why, and he said, well, with red hair I can get an easy job and make a lot of money. Look at this advertisement. The Red-Headed Lake is a club for men with red hair, and it's offering a job to men with red hair. You should apply for the job. You have bright red hair. I asked him, what's the pay? He said, £4 a week, and you can easily continue working here. Well, Mr. Holmes, £200 a year is very useful to me. So I asked Spaulding for more information. He showed me the advertisement and said, I've heard that the club's money came from a rich American, Ezekiel Hopkins. He was a strange man with red hair. He died and left all of his money to the Red-Headed League. The money is used to give easy jobs to men with red hair. But thousands of men have red hair, I said. I can never get the job. No, Mr. Wilson, said Spaulding. The Red-Headed League gives job only to people from London. Ezekiel Hopkins was born in London and he loved this city. Also, only men with bright red hair can get this job. The club doesn't accept men with dark red hair or light red hair. You can get easily the job. E questa era la fine del primo capitolo della prima storia. The Speckled Band. An early morning visitor. She's a lady arriving at Holmes' study. The case of the Speckled Band was one of my first investigations with my friend Sherlock Holmes, and it was also one of the most unusual. At that time, Holmes and I were living in Baker Street. I promised to keep this case a secret, but the lady is dead now, and it is important for people to know the truth. Early one morning in April 1883, I woke up and saw Sherlock Holmes standing by my bed. I was surprised because it was only 7 o'clock and Holmes usually got up late. I'm very sorry to wake you, Watson, he said. What is it, a fire? I asked. No, we have a visitor, a young lady. She is very unhappy and wants to see me. When young ladies walk around London at this very early hour, they usually want to talk about something important. If you want to help me with this case, come and listen to her story. I'll be ready immediately, I said. I was always happy to help Holmes with his detective work. He loved his work and was not interested in the money it brought. He only accepted interesting and unusual cases. I got dressed quickly and followed Holmes down the living room. A woman dressed in black clothes was sitting by the window. She got up when we entered the room. Good morning, madam. My name is Sherlock Holmes. This is my friend, Dr. Watson. You can say anything you want to us, and we'll keep it a secret. I see you're shaking. Please, Sit close to the fire. I'll get you a cup of hot coffee. I'm not shaking because I'm cold, said the woman. I'm frightened, Mr. Holmes. That's why I'm shaking. We could see that she was very frightened. She was about 30 years old, but some of her hair was already white, and her face was pale and tired. Don't be frightened, said Holmes, gently touching her arm. We can help you. I see you came by train this morning. Yes, but how did you know? Because you are holding your train ticket in your left hand. And I see you came in a cart early this morning too. Again, the lady was very surprised. It's not a mystery, madam, said Holmes, smiling. Your jacket is dirty. When you travel by cart, that often happens. Direi di fermarci qua perché è un pochino lungo questo, però molto molto carino. Che dire di Sir Conan Doyle? Allora, Doyle si laurea in medicina ad Edimburgo, siamo sempre nell'Ottocento, e lavora come assistente di questo medico che si chiama Joseph Bell. Questo Joseph Bell era estremamente particolare per le sue doti incredibili di deduzione, che utilizzava ovviamente con i pazienti. E questo personaggio è quello che ha ispirato tutte le storie di Sherlock Holmes. Nei romanzi, come avete sentito, il narratore delle favole è sempre il dottor Watson, che in un certo senso rappresenta proprio l'anima dell'autore stesso. E i libri, diciamo, hanno questa particolarità di voler insegnare la scienza della deduzione. Quindi, parlando del mito di Sherlock Holmes, purtroppo ho una brutta notizia, perché quello che noi crediamo essere una frase attribuita a Holmes, e cioè elementare Watson, è in realtà qualcosa che è stato inventato più tardi. Allora, nonostante l'enorme successo di questo personaggio, Doyle non lo ama tantissimo, ne prende un po' di distanze, anche perché il personaggio è diventato più famoso di lui, e poi a lui interessano anche altri generi letterari, tant'è che si dedicherà anche ad altri scritti e diventerà anche giornalista. Tant'è che infatti diventa corrispondente di guerra nel 1900-1902 nella guerra boera in Sudafrica, ed è per questo che fu insignito della carica nobiliare di baronetto, cioè Sir, nel 1902. Nella storia moderna abbiamo altri Sir che conosciamo bene, che sono stati insigniti dalla regina Elisabetta II. Abbiamo Elton John e purtroppo Sean Connery che è mancato recentemente. Doyle, insieme a Edgar Allan Poe, è considerato uno dei fondatori di due generi letterari, quindi il giallo e il fantastico. Arthur Conan Doyle muore a 71 anni nel 1930, quindi all'inizio del secolo scorso. Spero vi sia piaciuto. Vi auguro una buona giornata and see you soon.